Hi everybody, welcome to today's session. We'll be going through the latest key features in the latest release, which will be released to the general customer base planned for Monday night. Okay, I'm Ollie and Callum's on the live chat today as well. Okay, so first of all, what we're going to go through is there's been big updates to the journals. So as you can see on my dashboard, I've got my tile set up for the journal. So if I just open that and go through to the journals area, okay, and as you can see, all the journals that are assigned to myself are showing now in the grid. So some key points to note about the journals area. So basically what you're wanting to be looking at is the start date, any notes. So all your grids, all users' grids will be different. So you can drag and drop, for example, like the creation date is irrelevant, the activity ID, who it's been created by, for example. So all you want to see is who's the owner, so it's been assigned against myself, the company it's for, what the subject is, so and what the type is. So you can see there's one for a callback with a start date of when you're wanting the journals to go ahead with. So what you can do now, so when you open the journal, there's been some big updates in terms of how it displays. So you can see there you've got the option now to complete it within the journal. You can make changes to the date. So previously what it was, it tell you the information, everything would be greyed out as it is in these areas, and effectively what it was for is basically like a notice to say, right, okay, well this is the information, and then you'd have to jump into the module or the company journal to find out all the information and make any changes to it. So the changes being, you can now make changes. So for example, I've called back Mike today. It turns out he's not in the office. I need to call him back again on Monday. So I can make some more notes. So I can, for example, put in here, called Mike, not available until Monday the 3rd of April. And then what I can do then on the start date, change that to be 3rd of April, and then save that. If the journal, the call was successful, the quote's gone ahead, so on, you can jump to the module to go through and complete your quote, and you can also complete your journal now from within here. So quick ways of managing your journals could be, you just call Mike back, it's gone okay, I want to complete that now, okay, so save that, and then you can use these arrows to flick between your journals. So if I flick onto the next one, that's going through onto the next job. So just a test database, so all the information in here is quite plain, but what you could have is a whole list of journals here. So you could have 50 journals saying call back customer, go through the latest promotions. It might be like a telesales kind of exercise you're taking out with your account managers. You may say, right, okay, well Ollie, today I want you to call 50 customers of your accounts and just give a bit of a promotion on the mailers, and then you can assign the task to them, and then you can manage and see what's going on in Prima in terms of who they call back, what the kind of call, how the calls are going and everything, so you can see then straight away. Okay, what you've also got is the history. So that wasn't in there previously as well. So the history, if for example on that Mike Stationery one there was a history of a journal previous to that one saying called back on such and such a date, so that could have been a journal before that one where he tried calling him again. So it'll keep a history in here in terms of the area as well. So if it was a sales quote journal, it'll keep a history in there. Otherwise you can jump to the company journal and see the history of absolutely everything for that company. So what I'm doing now is jump into the company journal for this particular company of Bang Restaurant, and once that just loads up, just in the meeting room today, so it's quite slow. Okay, so and then from there you can see the company journal, you can see all the history completely. So you can filter by certain journals, you can look through certain contacts, make any changes as you can in the previous screen. You can just go through there and check everything as well. Okay, another feature to the journal. So if you've gone through in bulk and updated those, you may want to complete them in batches. So if for example now you can see there the complete option there, right, okay, well these ones I'm happy to complete, I've seen them today, click complete, and that'll prompt you with other options as well. So it's not just completing it, so I think they are going to reword that one, because what you can do as well, instead of actually completing the journal, you can say, right, well I didn't get to do these today, but I'm going to set these to be Monday the 3rd, change the start date, and then that's just then updated those 3 journals. Otherwise you can complete them, you're happy with what you've done, and go through that. Okay, so you can put it on start date, so you can either filter on start date, or you can put in filters as well with the start dates here. So if you only want to see in this week's tasks, you can say, right, okay, well, let's have a look at the fixed period of this week, and then when I search for that now, you can see there's nothing in there. So that's only if you're using the date. Otherwise, you can search for everything, as I've got in my journal tile, and you can just sort by your start date there. Okay, so just a quick recap on that. So you can complete the journals, you can amend any details, and then you can amend the contact, amend start dates individually or in batches, and you can jump to the company journal and the module it's relating to. So if it's a sales quote, you can jump to that directly, and you can quickly fizz through your journals to go through it as well, rather than closing out, clicking in, closing out. So the arrows are in all areas of Prima, so that's just a kind of a top tip to do. Okay, moving on to the next one. So the way users can update cost prices now in sales orders, quite a big change in how that's done. So if I just open up a sales order, and I'll also show you the admin as well. So what you can do effectively is restrict what users can amend cost prices and what they can and can't see. So let's just open the sales order here. Okay, and within the admin, so if I just open up a user, so if I just open my own one, so within here there's a new key that's change sales cost yes or no. So effectively, if they can change the sales cost, then they can go ahead, make any changes to the sales cost on the orders, add any sales cost against supplier records in the product. If it's set to no, then what in effect you're doing is restricting your user from being able to go in and make changes to the cost price. So they can overtype the cost, but that won't pull through to the requirement screen. So what you now need to do, so from the supplier cost prices, so you can see here, product for whatever company it is, so I can say, right, okay, well, I can see the price there with spices. I want to do spices pricing, so double click on the supplier cost price, and then that'll then pull through the supplier and pull through the cost price into the sales order as well. So if for example the administration key was set to no for my user, when I double click on that, that'll then prompt me with your user is restricted and cannot make changes to cost prices. So then effectively what that does is prevents them from making any changes to the costs, and that won't pull through to the requirements as well. So they'd have to go to a user that can make changes to the cost price and then go ahead and do it for them, rather than all your sales guys being able to change your cost prices basically. So what they can do though, if they are restricted with the cost side of things, what they can do is, say for example they've agreed a special price with Vow or for Spice, whatever it may be, they can put in there, right, well, I want to tell the buyer that special price with Vow at £4.50 for example. Save that onto your order, and then when that pulls through to your requirements list, then that'll be then on your whoever does the buy-in, it'll be on the notes to say, right, okay, well, that's the price that we're going to go for. They can hit the special purchase price against the line within the purchase order, and then that'll then store that price against that line. So it's just a way of restricting users from being able to change the cost prices and putting in the wrong costs against the orders as well. So if there was the case that, for example, on this particular line, you may want to go and buy it from, I don't know, Advent, Costco, wherever it may be, what you would need to do is link through to the product record, go into your supplier tab, and then put in a new record for whoever supplier it may be. So for those of you that don't know, so you go into the products, into the suppliers, and then if the supplier and the cost and everything doesn't exist, click the new icon, and then you can enter away then and say, right, okay, well, put in the new supplier. Oh, I'll put it in the right area. So enter in your new supplier, enter in your code and everything, and then when you save that, so I'll just close out of it. When you save that, that'll then pull through as an option when you click refresh as to a supplier's cost price that you can change it to as well. So basically, what the latest update is allowing you to do, it's restricting what the salespeople can and can't do on the sales orders, but it's also giving the whoever's doing the buying more control as to where it's going to kind of going through that. So it all feeds into an upcoming release. It's in the first initial testing with development at the moment. So what effectively they're trying to do is, or what they will be doing is, they'll have like a cheapest basket option. So say for example we've authorised this order, all the lines could be some for vows, some for spices. When you go to your requirements list and then do your purchasing, what you can do, so you can highlight the order, click purchase, and then it'll give you an option as to where the cheapest basket is going to be landing from. So it'll take into consideration all your delivery costs with your suppliers. So if you have got multiple suppliers on there, you've got an £8 to spices, an £8 to vow, £8 to Exertis, for example. What that'll do is it'll say, right, well, instead of going to Exertis and vow, if you went with spices, you'd save yourself £16 on the delivery cost of these ones, but it'll cost you a couple of quid more on the products. But an overall basket, you're making a better price and a better margin by doing this order. So all this is linking in through to kind of who's doing the buying has got more control and can go for better prices, basically. So I'll come on to that a bit more later on. Okay, so leading into that one now is a delivery cost in the purchase order. So just going on to the next one now. So if I just open, let's see the latest one. In fact, I'll use the vow one second. Okay, so what you've got, as you can see here now, the delivery cost is greyed out. So why that is greyed out is because it's pulling through from the supplier delivery code set up against the against a supplier record. So from here you can see, right, well, all the delivery codes are in there, so it might be direct delivery, pick, wrap and label, so all your supplier delivery codes would need to be set up. So as this is a standard delivery, it's pulling through the delivery cost of £4, and then that's then filtering into this delivery cost option. So if, for example, you get a better price or you want to change it, you have got the option here with this little tick option to say, right, well, in fact, I want to put it out, I don't know, maybe they've waived the delivery cost because it's a big order or something. You can say, right, okay, well, I want to change it to 0, save that, and then that's allowing you then to change it. So the reason it was set to £4 and it was unticked is because it's pulling through from your supplier delivery code. So within the delivery codes in your company records, so if we just open the supplier tab, all these within here, you can say, right, well, standard, direct, pick, wrap and label, what's the cost? If there's an order over £50, delivery cost will be wiped off. So it's basically restricting you from changing it unless you really have to. So then you'd have to tick it, make the change, and put that through. So it's the big focus on the cheapest basket and restricting users from updating the cost there. So delivery codes are obviously quite important in terms of in that feature, and also the cheapest basket. So any EDI suppliers that you're doing, or any suppliers in general that you're purchasing with, I'd go into your delivery codes and just make sure you've got them set up. And you can also set like delivery costs, certain margins against the delivery costs as well. So if the order was £5, it might put a 5% margin onto the delivery cost, and you've got options there with the free over as well. Okay. In the last release note session, we went through the links between Prima and MailChimp and .mailer as well. And what we've also done in this release is basically updated some of the contacts layout. So what information you can enter in, kind of putting some personalised information in for your marketing material. So if I just open up a company record and just show you that. Okay, so if I just open a contact, okay, so as you can see, there's quite a few more options now as to what you're entering in. So you can enter in a title, you can enter in a middle name, suffix, full name, any nicknames, etc. So you can see there it's pulling through title, Mr. Oliver Rolls, pulling through from the first name and last name. You can also put in Mr. Oliver Rolls Jr., for example, and that's going to pull through there. So you can use all these fields for your marketing. So your nickname would pull through to all your records. So if you're doing like a sales invoice or something, deer, ollie rolls, If you were doing like a marketing campaign, you can pick through as to what's pulling through there. So if I created a new one, a new contact, click new, you can see there the one that you're needing to enter in is the nickname, because that's pulling through to the likes of your sales order contacts, sales quote contacts, etc. So if I typed into there, Callum for example, you can put in Callum Jr. Enter in all that, and you can see that it just pulls through. So it's mainly it's in place for the European and US markets as well, but it's also good to give users the opportunity to put in like the likes of Dr. Callum Edwards, Mr. Callum Edwards, Junior, Senior, whatever it may be, or even like a Robert Van Housen or something like that. You can put in all sorts of stuff, but it's really key for the marketing stuff as well. So what's being exported from Prima, what's being transferred over to your mailing systems as well. A point to note for those using Evolution, previously it was just the contact name, but what it is now, so when you click new, you can see that the nickname is the one that you're needing to enter in. Okay, so that's all the key features wanting to cover. We have got a few more updates I can talk through. So there have been changes to the way the web tables are managed as well. So previously there was one web table holding all the information in. So what the web developer's been doing is he's basically created two web tables, one storing the lookup data, and there's lookup searches rather, sorry, and the second one is for the data as well. So hoping to see some speed improvements around that as well. That's all to do with speed and how it's loading in from different tables as well. Coming soon, so future releases. So a bit of a development roadmap. So there's been some work about the voucher code. So it's in testing at the moment, but what they're wanting to do is basically it can give users certain discounts off, so like a monetary value, so £5 off your first order. They're trying to put in restrictions to that. There's certain ranges and date periods as well, so they can only use it once up until the end of April, etc. So they're doing a lot of work around the voucher codes, hoping to be in a release coming soon. Foreign currency, now that's something that is actually active at the moment in Prima, and we've got one user quite heavily using it as well. So if there is any other users wanting to try out the foreign currency, as far as we're concerned, it is active and working, but it is still classed as in a testing period. So an example of that, I think we have actually got a European company set up on this database. Let's just check that out. Yeah, Euro company is that one. Okay, so when you create a company, so if I just show you creating the company, new record, company, you've got the option to add a trading currency against them. So if it's an Irish customer, if it's a Spanish, American, whatever it may be, you can put in then the trading currency that you're going to be dealing with this customer. Within your administration, you've got all the options to add in your exchange rates and everything, which will filter through to Prima. And as you can see here, so these are the totals now in euros. So you can see the little euro sign next to all the little icons. Go through to here. Once that's just refreshed, you got all the little euros signs there as well. So if I click on that euro, that'll tell me the rate that's currently entered into your Prima, and a breakdown as to what it is in pounds as well. So that's in all areas of Prima, and it is currently working as far as we're aware, and it's going well so far. So if we have a second customer testing it as well, that'd be great. But just to let you know, that's pretty much released to the customer base, but not finalised yet. And yeah, as mentioned before, the cheapest basket as well, so it's going to be quite a lot of work going into that. Basically just giving users the functionality to be able to flick through orders, see what the cheapest basket is, and then decide what supply is best to go through as well. Okay, that's everything I wanted to cover in today's session. If you have any questions, myself and Callum will be hanging around on the YouTube live chat for a few minutes afterwards. If you're interested in one-to-one training, drop myself or Steve Dennis an email at training@primasoftware.co.uk. Yeah, so if you've got any questions, don't hesitate to contact us in the YouTube chat. Thanks for your time today. Hope you all have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.